It's June 2026. I'm sitting on a cold, wintry day in Geelong in my home office. I turned 50 this year. I went back to university and I'm going to start a business from scratch. Without any doubt, I will be using artificial intelligence to help me with that business development, and I didn't even know that existed 2 years ago. I want to put this moment today into a digital time capsule. Not a polished version, because I'm nowhere near polished, but the messy, the in-between, the development version of me. Because in 10 years' time, when the creator economy looks so different, when I'm working full-time as a content creator, when the AI tools that I'm using today have changed again beyond any recognition, when there are hundreds of roadmaps for women over the age of 40 to become a content creator that's been tried and tested, to create a record of what it looked like to be right here, right now. This is the Start Messy podcast. I'm Toni Gauntlett, and this is my time capsule. Setting the scene, I left a career which I'd been in for 30 years. I needed to leave that career because of burnout, but also I had this passion for social media. I had been creating content for a number of years with my sister, and we're co-founders of Our Era. And I knew that this was something that I wanted to test. I've given myself 12 months to be a social media strategist. I also want to be a full-time content creator, create a community for women over the age of 40 who think that they have nothing to offer within the content space. When I'm building my user-generated content portfolio and brand portfolio as a way to tap into the creator economy, as a 50-year-old woman who has transitioned from a full-time role, we need to make sure that we're still earning some money. I'm in the middle of a transition. I co-founded Our Era with my sister Lindsay, who lives in the UK, and I'm transitioning into being a solo founder of Start Messy. We have got lots of things in motion. Nothing is finalized. Everything feels messy, hence the Start Messy, because you do not need to have everything perfect. I think if you actually wait until you have everything perfect, you're actually not being authentic and true to the community that you're building. So what I wanted to be, build something online that demonstrates the true journey that people will undertake, particularly in their midlife. We could also be dealing with a loss of confidence. We could be supporting our families. We can be questioning everything that we have done previously, and what does our second chapter look like? Comes with a lot of different levels and layers. As a 50-year-old woman, my generation is a generation where we've seen the birth of dial-up, getting the first computer into the family home, having your set time to go onto the internet with dial-up. The other generations would never know what that sound is. Then it was the birth of the mobile phone, and then the smartphone, and then Wi-Fi, and then having all information instantly available, all the different platforms then being built up from MySpace up into Facebook, and now TikTok and Instagram and all the other platforms that are out there, and now the AI world. The creator economy is tipped to reach 450 billion USD by 2027. Women over 40 are one of the most powerful consumer groups. There's brand loyalty, financial independence, and we're actively online. And this is the gap, because even though women over 40 are a high consumer pool, they are significantly underrepresented in the creator economy and being content creators. When I started out, I was looking for a roadmap, and there wasn't one. So I developed one, and Start Messy is that roadmap. And this podcast is proof of that concept. My question is, how is this group of women practically and ethically using AI, the new versions of AI, and keeping themselves up to date with all the changes that are there? One thing that we're starting to discover is just using AI verbatim, then everything starts to sound the same, and you absolutely are able to pick out content or captions that have been developed purely from an AI perspective. Me, I'm using Claude Anthropic for my Start Messy launch. Now, the reason why I chose this AI structure is because I needed a thinking partner as opposed to a ghost writer. One of the things that I'm really keen to be part of the Start Messy framework is to be a social media strategist. So I'm testing on my friends and family. My youngest daughter, who's 26, she actually wants to build up her social media page to sell 3D printed items. So I met with Erin, I captured all the information, I captured her voice. I wanted to know what her brand was, what her goals were, what she wanted to be known by, what her timeframes were, what the barriers were to her achieving those timeframes, what type of content creator did she want to be known by. We did that face to face. It was my daughter, so it was easy to do. I took her out for a coffee and we had that real human to human interaction and conversation around what it is that she wanted to achieve. By doing that, I was then able to place her in a space where she felt comfortable enough to be able to have a conversation. It wasn't scripted, it wasn't just generic questions. I then took that information, brought it home, and then worked with my thinking partner Claude and put the prompt in there. This is Erin, these are all the things that we discussed. This is put all that information into a scaffold that I'm then able to continue to build on and to add to alongside Erin. I didn't ask Claude to rewrite any of that information, and in fact I put that into the prompt. Another example where Claude is my thinking partner is I'm building up my UGC and brand portfolio, and to do that you have to pitch. You have to pitch every single day, and you're doing multiple pitches as well. I like to have everything organised and actually pitch to the companies either through Instagram DMs, through their online, through their website contact form, or in an email. And I've created a brand partnership tracker. That for me is a really great example where I'm using AI to keep me on track, because I want this business to be professional. And even though the name is Start Messy, I don't want it to be Start Messy because everything's disorganized. I want Start Messy to be really reflective of just don't be perfect, just start this work. But behind that work, you can absolutely use AI to help you keep everything structured. Another AI tool that I use is sitting within Canva. Now, Canva is an editing suite which I am 6 months into using, so I'm not an expert. But I've developed my ebook, my UGC portfolio, my media kit, my business strategy, so many different documents that are all on Canva. And if I'm presenting this to a professional agency or to another creator, I want it to reflect a professional content creator. I don't just ask AI to fix, I actually ask AI to give me the instructions to fix. So that's another bonus of using AI for 40 plus women to continue to build their skills up within content creation. I will be honest, when I've been time poor, I've thought to myself, I'm going to be a bit cheeky here and I will ask for a content plan for the week. And the very first TikTok that I put out using that AI generated content plan flopped. Because it wasn't me. It wasn't me, and it didn't resonate with my community. It was so polished, and there was words in there that I just wouldn't use. It's definitely a learning curve, and you cannot have AI create content because people want the human touch. So what is in this time capsule today, June 2026? I have developed an ebook, 5 things I wish I knew before I became a content creator. Now, this ebook was developed using my words, my thinking, my experiences, and definitely is my voice. I developed this ebook within Canva, and I used AI within Canva to make sure that this ebook was professionally looking and schmick, because I view this as the top of my funnel. This is the beginning, and this is the way that I'm going to be creating my own list of people who download this ebook. This ebook is going to tell me what the appetite is there for further work. If I get to a position where I want to do a paid ebook or a paid content course, then I'll be able to contact via email those people who downloaded the ebook. The Start Messy has a complete ecosystem behind it. We've got the traditional media, and then we've also got the TikToks and the Instagrams and LinkedIn, and to be able to promote Start Messy in the various formats. They will be used for different content because the audience and the purpose is different based on the platform that is going on. So the launch of the Start Messy campaign, there's lots to think about, and I needed to be able to structure what step goes where. I was able to utilize AI to help me visualize my business plan and how each of those platforms talk to each other. Erin's strategy sits within this time capsule as well. Even though I captured Erin's voice from a human perspective, I was able to pull together all that information and using Claude to develop a 6-month strategy, which was in line with her end goal of opening up a custom order window for Christmas. My brand partnership work, I have set aside half an hour every single day to pitch, and for me to pitch, I use AI at the behind of that to track those pitches. I do the human side, I work with the brands, I do the phone calls, I send the emails. And the reason why I track those pitches is because I want to know what I'm landing, what I'm not landing, and then try and understand why I didn't land it so that next time I'll land it. This is a business. I'm replacing my 9-to-5 wage with this. And I was in a high leadership role, so I'm chasing a big slice of the pie. I'm protecting my brand. So I am the brand. Toni Gauntlett is the brand. I want to be able to deliver on some really high quality work, fill those time frames with brands and provide them the best possible polished content so that they're able to use so that they come back. I don't want it to be a one-time thing. By utilizing AI behind the scenes to be able to put more of my time into that relationship building with brands. So who actually benefits from AI tools in the creator economy? Yes, AI lowers barriers, but does it do it equally? A lot of the AI systems require you to have fast systems, requires you to have a good digital literacy level. It requires you to have the right tools that are fast enough to be able to manage the work that AI spits out. AI can actually help midlife creators. It helps us learn fast, it helps bridge a gap, and it helps us keep up. Can AI help me break into a system that wasn't built for me? No, because one of my core values is authenticity. And if I'm being authentic to myself, then I want to be able to deliver content that is developed by me. So an AI or an AI tool cannot replace who I am as a person and what my thinking is. I want to be able to meet people on the street who have seen my content and they're able to recognize me in the wild as that same person. What I will use AI for and what I do use AI for is that behind the scenes organization that just feels really overwhelming at this moment in time. So for AI, there always has to be a line, and the line is my voice. That is my brand. My brand is being authentic. So as I continue to grow in Start Messy and hopefully have clients, this is where the ethical implications come into play. We have to make sure that I'm maintaining from an ethical point of view. I have to maintain that client's data, that client's privacy, including any personal identifying information into Claude. That doesn't actually belong to me. That belongs to that creator. So one of the ethical decisions I have made is that I will declare with any new clients that I use Claude in the background, and the commitment that I give to them is that I will not put their personal, it will not be saved within Claude, within the project in Claude. It will sit external to that under a client file, and I will maintain that person's privacy and confidentiality as per legislation. One of the other things that I have to be careful about is that I'm also passing on all this information onto other midlife creators. I have a responsibility to make sure that that information is correct. This is the thing about AI, it's not always right. So that can have a starting point there, but you always have to back that up. I actually did some academic research to make sure that the data I was collating was real and came from a really good, trusted academic source. So the quote that I gave at the beginning when I was talking about the creator economy projection of 450 billion, that hasn't come from Claude, that hasn't come from Toni, that's actually come from Goldman Sachs. So spitting out facts like that, you need to know where that's come from, and you need to do your own research around that. So if someone comes across this first episode of the podcast and this time capsule in 2036, this is what I want them to know about 2026. AI was new. It's continued to evolve. It was scary. So there was lots of questions around, what does this mean for me? What does it mean for my career? AI is going to take all our jobs. It was scary. It was exciting. Last week in America, oh my God, she launched a 1.2 million business from just starting. She started 6 months ago, started posting on TikTok, started posting on Instagram, talking head content, just being really vulnerable and raw, and she just literally launched a business for 1.2 million. That happened last week in June 2026. One of the biggest barriers that I see in 2026, and hopefully in 2036 that's not the case, is the confidence that women over 40 had coming into content creation and just feeling so overwhelmed with the different options that are out there and how to use AI. Claude, for example, you can't just open up Claude without knowing how to prompt Claude, because otherwise Claude just turns into another generic AI. You can use Claude as a thinking partner, but you have to put a lot of information into Claude via the prompts so that it can actually act as your thinking partner and doesn't just ghostwrite for you. And as for me, well, I hope I have a thriving business. The Midlife Collective. I hope I've got a number of clients under my belt and I have a success story like the Jessie Jean Home in America, supporting creators to launch a 1.2 million launch into content creation. I started messy, not because I was disorganized, but because I came my vulnerable self. I used AI to help me behind the scenes to build a business. I hope we understand that AI can help us and not take away jobs. I think if you're a woman who is over 40 and you're listening to this, either in 2026, if I decide to post this, go live with this podcast, or in 2036, you're discovering this as a time capsule, here's what I want you to know. The creator economy is not finished being built. It is projected to continue to increase significantly. AI tools have not finished being built. It's only just starting. And you, as a content creator, are not finished being built. You don't need to wait for the perfect roadmap to exist. You can develop one. I'm Toni Gauntlett, and this is the Start Messy podcast. Here are my handles so that you can continue following me. If this resonated with you or you think it will help somebody else in your circle, then please share it with them. Start messy and grow smart.